seafood. It's one of the towering pillars of our Australian culinary reputation. A reputation that's recognised throughout the world for its sensational taste and sizzling innovations. But there's more to great seafood than just what you see on your plate. And you're about to dive deep into the full story of how it gets there. I'm Andrew Ettinghausen. I've spent the past 2 decades fishing for fun on screen, yours and mine. Now I'm getting serious, teaming up with some of Australia's toughest professional fishing crews and introducing them to some of the country's most creative chefs. Together we'll sail Australian waters from east to west to show you the whole amazing journey from ocean depths to the heights of culinary delight in each delicious adventure of seafood escape. The Hawkesbury is far from being Australia's longest river, but it doesn't have many challenges in the ranks of the prettiest and most historic. For 120 kilometres, the bends and reaches of the Hawkesbury encircle the city of Sydney to the north and west. It's an idyllic place to live and work for a small number of river fishing pros who know these banks like the back of their hands. One of the most seasoned of them is Gary Howard. Gary literally works in his own backyard, trawling the waters around Lower Portland, just as his father did before him in a family tradition that stretches back to the 1940s. It's a workplace so peaceful and unspoilt, it's hard to believe that this scene is just over an hour's drive away from the centre of Sydney, where in a very different workplace, Chef Jacob Davey runs the busy kitchen at Peter Doyle's Est restaurant. And today we're taking him right away from all this urban stress and pressure for a very early start at the riverbank behind Gary's home, on board his custom-designed river trawler, the Christie Ann. All right. It'll be a day with a big learning curve in it for Jake and me, and we're looking forward to it. Well, this week's Seafood Escape finds me on the Upper Hawkesbury River, fishing with skipper Gary Howard. Gary's been chasing prawns for years, and joining us on this journey is Chef Jacob Davey. Gary's going to be showing Jacob and me how to trawl for river prawns. It's a job he normally handles totally alone, so we'll be learning from a very smart master. Where are we going to catch these prawns?
In the river, Andrew. Hopefully, just over here we'll have a bit of a crack at some prawns. We're about 40 miles.
40 miles?
From the ocean, pure fresh water. And the school prawn we catch is quite happy to inhabit the salt water and the fresh water.
And how big do the prawns get up here? I mean, are they just little fellas, or do they actually get to some size?
At their best, yeah, they do get to some size. Hawkesbury's renowned for its size of its school prawn.
Now, I've seen plenty of prawn trawlers go past, but I've actually never been on one, so this is my first. Is it your first too?
Yeah, it's my first.
It's pretty crazy, hey, just to be on here. Now, we'll watch what you do this time round, and hopefully we can help out a little bit.
You'll be putting the net in and pulling it out by the end of the day. Okay. No worries at all. Predominantly, we trawl with the tide, predominantly. Yeah, and that's going in.
Basically just control it.
Yep. It'll spread about 24 feet on the bottom. Now, you can see where they run on the sand there, see the shine on the bottom? Yeah. That's where they're sitting on the sand and running along the sand. Okay. There we go. It'll vary through the day from the run of the tide. So if the tide runs and the sediment stirs up on the bottom and the water changes colour, you'll move around in and out. Bottom of tide, water will clear up. Top of tide, clears up. So you've got to have all the subtle differences to catch the prawns. It's not just a matter of throwing that net out the back there and going around and around for a while. You've got to know how to catch them. All right, so we go there.
The net will be on the bottom for about 15 minutes, by which time we hope it will have picked up a good-sized bundle of the millions of healthy prawns that live in this ecosystem. You can feel the anticipation in the air as the otter boards come back out of the water for the first time today. And we get towards the business end of the trawl.
Rubbish out of it,
Do those birds already know we've got a good catch for them to pounce on, or are they just hanging around with the hopes of scrounging a tiny scrap or two? We'll all soon find out as Gary slowly and carefully hauls the net and its contents up to the surface. Not a bad haul for the first of what's likely to be 10 or more shots in this typical day's work for Gary. But it's not all prawns, and some of the bycatch has to be handled with care.
Fish there. Tell us about those.
They call them a bull route, or sometimes they call it Fortescue. Now they've got highly poisonous venomous spines.
Not good. Not good at all.
Oh, he's only a 5 or 6 gram. Yeah, it'd be 6 gram prawn. You know, we want 16 gram prawns.
Yeah, right.
Okay. He's a bit heavier. He's a bit better.
Yeah, starting to get a bit.
You're starting to get there. They'll go double that weight when they're in their peak time.
And would you say there's millions of prawns in the system?
Millions and millions and millions.
Millions and millions.
You think of the Pitt waters and the Cowans and the Brisbane waters and the Barrowaras inhabited by prawns. There's no shortage of prawns.
Nor of another interesting bycatch.
But these little banded sole, never seen them before. A beautiful looking fish, very much like a flounder. As soon as you basically got the catch up on deck,
Yep.
straight back in again.
Yep.
Another quarter hour of trawling brings up an even better haul of prawns to make Gary happy, but also brings another dose or two of trouble.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's a thumper, that one. Spines everywhere, just super poisonous. Spines all across the top.
And sometimes, even with eco-friendly nets, there can be more welcome species
Little dusky flathead.
that we're not allowed to keep.
And you know what? He's in really good nick too. Gorgeous fish. Healthy as anything, straight back in the water.
Forget about flathead, we're here for the prawns.
So I guess that's the advantage of being on a prawn boat. You can have prawns for breakfast, which look pretty good.
Especially if you like prawn.
Gosh. Totally see-through. That's a nice little prawn.
For all those nice-looking prawns, it's out of the sorting tray and onto the ice. And Chef Jake will soon serve them as a delicious working lunch coming up. Welcome back to what I'd call a dream location for a working lunch.
Well, we're here on the beautiful banks of the Upper Hawkesbury River, and I'm here with Jake Davey. Now, Jake is the chef at Est restaurant in Sydney.
That's right.
Now, mate, we're going to do some prawns. We went out on the prawn trawler just earlier. Now, what are you going to prepare today?
Today I'm preparing just a little char-grilled corn and chilli salsa, just with some fresh vegetables. I've got some cucumber, some tomatoes, loads of fresh herbs, and just the prawns that we've caught, cooked up on the barbie with some lettuce, and we'll just make some little lettuce cups. Just going to get a chilli on. So that'll just cook through and get a bit of char in it as well.
Okay.
Again, another layer of smokiness. This is the sort of barbecue charred element. The herbs will bring a real freshness.
Yep.
Once the corn's done, I'm just going to chop it up and season it with some fish sauce and some lime juice. All right, this is starting to pop, so we know something's happening. Bit of spring onion.
And so has this got sort of an Asian taste, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. There's just a bit of cucumber. Just going to slice that into little sticks, just for a bit of crunch.
And I guess that's the great thing about a barbecue, so versatile.
Definitely, and it's beautiful just to be cooking
Yeah, here, right
on
here.
the water.
There was our main transport not long ago, catching
it.
all the prawns on the Hawkesbury River. Pretty special.
It was a real privilege for me as well, just to see, you know, where our food comes from.
And so far, I could cook this myself on the barbie, no troubles at all.
Oh, definitely.
It's just a really good recipe for a spiced up summer's afternoon, I guess. And how did you get into cooking?
It was through a family friend, actually. I was studying at university to be an architect. I sort of wasn't enjoying it, and so through a family friend, I was able to do some work experience in a restaurant, and I just loved it, and I haven't looked back.
Just enjoyed it from the start?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off the corn here. Bit of fish sauce. Just going to add a little bit of sugar. The corn's pretty sweet by itself, but the sugar helps to sort of soften the fish sauce. Add some fresh lime. So in here we've got some char-grilled chilli, just diced up, and some char-grilled corn.
I guess the fish sauce is quite strong by itself.
That's it. You add a bit of acid, in this case lime juice, and a bit of sweetness, and it's delicious. A little bit of oil.
Beautiful fresh prawns. They don't get any fresher than these. Wow, that looks good. Now, do you cook them all the way through? I suppose they cook themselves at the end.
They're so fresh. I'm just going to give them a quick toss. They'll be off in no time.
Wow.
As soon as they just start to change colour, and to be honest, with a fresh prawn like this, you're better off undercooking a little bit. Pinch of salt. Another few seconds.
Beautiful. They smell good though.
Yeah. Just a few more seconds.
The prawns don't come any fresher than this. This is it was a great experience out there with Gary. Gary did a great job, put us onto the prawns.
Yeah.
He does a remarkable job.
He works well, very efficient.
Okay, time to plate up, eh?
That's it, we're just about ready to get stuck in. So here's our mixture of herbs. We've got the coriander, we've got mint,
Yes.
we've got Thai basil.
Thai basil.
Yeah, and we've got some garlic chives.
And garlic chives, okay. Just eat them without pulling the skin off at all.
Put a couple in
But
there.
I wasn't quite right when I talked about plating up. This is the perfect finger food for a hungry fisho, or anyone else with a cool beverage in their other hand and a taste for the best of Australia's fresh produce.
So I might tuck into that one.
Well, I was wondering what you were going to do with these prawns, but you've made the perfect dish.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, well done, mate. Awesome stuff. Thank you.
Great.
Oh, here he comes, Skipper himself. Hey, mate, come and have a dig into this. This is fabulous.
What have we got?
Very easy to overfill.
Oh, well played.
What do you reckon?
Pretty good.
Prawns never taste so good, see? You were telling us how you got to have prawns alone. They're the best on the planet, but they are amazing prawns. I'll give you that. They are really delicious. You can eat them just simply, or you can add these flavours to it, which acts as a great way to eat prawns. And once you start, the worst part is you can't stop. Well, we've come in after a couple of really good sessions out here on the trawler, and this is what we're actually seeing. I'm sort of trying to work out, how come you're catching 99% prawns? You're just showing me this is what the net does, and this is called a blubber chute.
Or a bycatch reduction device, and this one's designed to shoot the blubbers out and anything else that comes down the mouth of the net. So the prawns pass through that mesh and go into the back, where all the other stuff comes out the hole.
So any fish bigger than that diameter will actually come straight out of here.
Straight out of there. Lots of different restrictions to your gear, mainly being size of net. This mesh here can't be any smaller than 40 millimetres when it's stretched like that. That leaves little prawns in the water and anything else small in the water.
Yep.
And then once the product reaches the back of the net, we have another grading system called the square mesh cod end. So you'll notice that it's on the square. So it opens up square in the water. So that lets small prawns back into the water.
So any little prawns can get through these ones as well.
And stay in the water.
Now that we know how Gary's Sustainable Fisheries Net works, it's time to put it back into use for the afternoon session of prawn trawling on the beautiful Upper Hawkesbury River. And that means it's time for Chef Jacob Davey and I to step up and take our turn at the controls. But before he hands over, our skipper gives us the final briefing on the job we've got in front of us. And right now, it's Jake's turn to get his hands on the machinery.
And up. Up, right up. Away we go. Good, yep.
Get it up at the top, put the brakes on.
Down for your niggerhead, yep, down, bang, bang. Righto, now pull on that rope. Right down, okay, you got to go out and get the rope. All right, get it up. There we go. Off. Half hitch, half hitch. Go and grab your prawns, pull them into the tray.
Now that is a big prawn.
Don't grab the Fortescue. That's it. Pull your rope. Bang, bang at either one. That's it. All right. You're going to have to go tying it up. When as though Andrew's bloody worsted. Grab that one. Pull that one. And grab that one.
I'll have a go, but...
You're like me, you look at it and go, hang on a minute, did he move it that way or do it that? Oh.
With that sorted, the net goes back into the water to be eased down to the bottom again. That means I've got about 15 minutes to prepare for my maiden attempt. And it's feeling like the fastest quarter hour of my life.
Back up here.
Both going in the right direction.
Not a bad haul for my first attempt, even if I do say so myself. And as it turns out, that was our last haul of prawns in this idyllic working environment Gary Howard calls home. Because it's now time to charge back to the other waterfront environment where our chef Jacob Davies is much more at home. We're moving back into the heart of Sydney and the busy kitchen of Est Restaurant coming up. Close by the famous Harbour Bridge is another icon of Sydney. It's Est Restaurant, where Jacob Davey is Executive Chef Peter Doyle's right-hand man. A young Australian Chef of the Year, he's our man to make the most of another Aussie icon.
Well, we've worked our way from the upper Hawkesbury River catching some prawns the other day, and we're dealing with a different sort of prawn, these big tigers. Oh my God, a lot bigger than the school prawns of the Hawkesbury. What are you preparing today?
Well, today I'm going to do some barbecued prawns. It's just going to be served with some butternut pumpkin, some black garlic, which I'll
Black garlic,
show you here. It's basically garlic that's been held at a constant temperature of around 60 to 70 degrees for a couple of months. Ends up tasting very sweet.
And how does this work within your dish?
For this particular part, we're just going to use the top of the pumpkin. This is a butternut pumpkin, so this is quite sweet. So we're just going to trim him up.
And we've got these terrific tiger prawns now. Wow, they're fantastic and so big. Okay, well, back to the pumpkin.
So we're just going to slice this as thin as we can on the mandolin. Try and maintain like one whole sheet. And that's how we get a nice thin
that. Super
pumpkin
thin.
sheets. Yeah.
And what are these little blokes up the top?
So these are pumpkin seeds.
They're just normal pumpkin seeds straight out of your pumpkin.
Yeah. So we're just going to peel one of these guys.
Wow, it might take half an hour to peel one of those.
Yeah, they're big boys.
And from right up the top of Australia, up in the Gulf.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's a nice prawn.
Awesome.
Okay, so we'll get onto the prawn crackers.
Okay.
Well, so this is prawn that we've pureed. So the
Wow.
next point is just to fry them. The oil's at about 200 and they should just puff up like a prawn cracker
Cool.
that you get it at.
Whoa. They almost bounced out of the pot.
That's it.
That's good. They've got a life of their own. They're still moving.
So the next is the pepitas. Just going to put a couple of pinches in there. We're going to season it with just some sea salt flakes and some Espelette pepper. Just got a nice warm. They're almost there. You sort of want to take them off just as you're starting to see a couple of puff up.
Yeah, I can see a few that are just,
so I
just
think
starting
we'll.
to get gold.
I think we're good there.
Perfect. Beautiful.
So this is a Japanese style bachi grill.
Yeah, so with charcoal flavour into your dish.
Yeah, we'll get it on there.
And what else can you cook on this device?
It's great for meat. This is going to be another.
Okay, ready for plating.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah,
So you want it nice and thin, or how do you?
no, I'm just going to sort of slice it into random chunks. That should be pretty good. That's that.
I guess there's 3 stages, isn't there? There's sort of the preparation, and then you've got the cooking, and then obviously the plating.
That's right.
Some good colour there.
We're going to get these prawns on there. This is the black garlic.
So you just have a almost like taste test just around the.
Yeah, you just want to make
Around the
sure
dish.
this is a puree of pumpkin. Around the place. Pumpkin seeds. This is just a wonderful texture. Again, these are another really tasty kitchen snack. This is just baby green shiso, just the baby leaves. Shellfish dressing. And just finish off with some of the
prawn crackers.
prawn crackers.
Wow, that looks amazing.
That's it.
Wow,
There you have it.
awesome. Fantastic. That is a work of art. Tiger prawns. Absolutely amazing. Well done, mate. That's
Thanks a lot.
fantastic. Brilliant. A great dish.
Go to our website to find the recipe for this and every other dish in the series. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and go to fishfiles.com.au for more recipes and seafood information. And from all our fishing professionals and 5-star chefs, we hope you've enjoyed every seafood escape right down to the last morsel.
Oh, yum.